1988, Philadelphia, Joe Frazier's gym. Inside is empty, equipment old, walls crumbling, Joe alone, 48 years old, holding mopping floors. In 1971 at Madison Square Garden, he made $2.5 million. In 1975 in Manila, $2 million. Total $10 million. Now in 1988, in his own gym, mopping floors, because he can't afford to hire cleaner. Bankrupt, lost everything, bad investments. People he trusted defrauded him. IRS tax debt. Philadelphia house foreclosed. Gym is only asset. But this is failing too. Member count 12 people, can't pay rent. Door opens. Young kid enters, 16 years old. "Mr. Frazier, I want to learn boxing, but I have no money." Joe puts down mop, looks at kid, sees his own 18-year-old self. Poor, hopeless, but ambitious. "Joe, I don't want money." "Come, I'll teach you, but I have one condition." Kid, "What?" Joe, "After every fight you win, come here, and one day teach someone else. Free. Like me." Kid agrees. Joe continues mopping floors, but this time smiling, because he lost money, but didn't lose his mission. He didn't start boxing to become world champion. He started to survive. And now in 1988, he's helping others survive. $10 million gone. But this will never go away. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. November 1988, Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Old building on North Broad Street. 3 stories, red brick, paint peeling, cracks in windows. Ground floor, small sign, Joe Frazier's gym. Sign old too, letters faded, the J in Joe barely visible, but still hanging, still here, just like Joe. Inside dark, only light from bulb by window, 60 watt, weak, doesn't illuminate entire gym. Corners dark, shadowy, cold, heater not working because gas bill unpaid. November, Philadelphia cold, outside 5 degrees Celsius, inside maybe 8. Joe wearing thick sweatshirt, old, from 1976. Smokin' Joe written, but writing unreadable now, worn out, just like Joe's career. Joe holding mop, bucket with dirty water, soapy, but water cold, no hot water. Electric water heater broken, no money for repair. Mopping floors, slowly, methodically, starting from corner, then moving toward center, mopping every inch, careful, diligent, because this isn't just floor, this is Joe's honor. 48 years old, became world champion, beat Muhammad Ali, fought George Foreman, went into hell in Manila, made $10 million, now mopping floors in his own gym. How did he get here? Let's rewind. 1971, March 8th, Madison Square Garden, Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali. Fight of the century. Joe wins. 15 rounds. Judge's decision. Joe's hand raised. World champion. Undefeated. Fight purse, $2.5 million. In 1971, $2.5 million astronomical amount. Average American making $10,000 per year. Joe made 250 years' salary in one night. After fight, Joe tells reporters, "Now I have money. I'll buy house for family. Good life for my children." Linda beside him, smiling, happy. They have 11 children. Oldest Marvis, 11 years old, youngest 2. Big family, and now big money. Joe buys house in Philadelphia. 2-story, 5 bedrooms, with yard, $150,000. Nice house, but modest by Joe's standards. Because Joe not flashy, likes living simple. Luxury cars, expensive watches, gold chains don't interest him. His family interests him. 1973 Joe Frazier versus George Foreman. Kingston, Jamaica. Joe loses. Round 2, goes down 6 times. Career trauma, but fight purse, $850,000. Lost, but got richer. 1974 Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali 2. Madison Square Garden. Joe loses, 12 rounds. Judge's decision, fight purse, $850,000. 1975 Thriller in Manila. Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali 3. Most brutal fight, 14 rounds hell. Eddie Futch stops fight. Joe loses, but fight purse, $2 million. 1976 to 1981, Joe does few more fights. Smaller opponents, less money, but total 3 to 4 million more. Total career earnings, approximately $10 million. 1981, Joe retires. 37 years old, 32-4-1 record, has $10 million. In 1981, this huge fortune. Joe can live comfortably, family can live comfortably, grandchildren can live comfortably. But 7 years later, 1988, Joe will be bankrupt. How did it happen? 1981, Joe retires. Plan simple, invest, get passive income, live comfortably. But Joe is boxer, not businessman, doesn't know money management. First mistake, trusting wrong advisors. Joe's management done by Don King, famous boxing promoter, rich, powerful, connected. Don King tells Joe, "Joe, you're a fighter. Leave money business to me. I'll invest for you. You relax." Joe trusts, signs, gives $3 million to Don King. For reliable investments, Don King establishes company, real estate investments, stocks, bonds. On paper, everything looks good, but reality, Don King transferring money to his own companies. Nothing in Joe's name, just empty papers. 1983, 2 years pass. Joe, seeing no returns, asks, "Don, where's my money?" Don King, "Market bad, Joe. Wait little more. We'll be profitable soon." Joe waits, because he believes. 1985, still no returns. Joe hires lawyer. They investigate. Truth comes out, $3 million gone. Don King embezzled. Joe takes to court. Long case. Will take 2 years. Finally, Joe wins. Court finds Don King guilty, but no money. Don King transferred to other companies, offshore accounts. Joe can't recover. $3 million gone. First big loss. Second mistake, delaying tax payments. Joe making big money, but not paying taxes regularly. Says, "I'll pay later. I have low liquidity now." But later never comes. IRS, Internal Revenue Service, calculates 1971 fight, 2.5 million earned, tax $900,000, 1975 Manila, 2 million earned, tax $750,000. Other income, 5.5 million, tax $2 million. Total tax debt, $3.65 million. Joe paid some, but more than half unpaid. 1987, IRS sends Joe letter. Total debt, $1.8 million, with interest and penalties. Joe shocked. How $1.8 million? But this is reality. Late interest accumulated every year. For 10 years. Joe tries paying, but no money. Don King stole $3 million. Remaining money lost in other investments. IRS freezes Joe's bank accounts. House goes into foreclosure. Car sold. Third mistake, bad investments. 1982. Joe becomes partner in Atlantic City Casino on friends' advice. Invests $1 million. Casino goes bankrupt 6 months later. $1 million loss. 1983. Joe invests in real estate project. Luxury apartments in Florida. Big returns promised. Project abandoned halfway. Construction company goes bankrupt. Joe's investment, $800,000. Return, 0. 1984, Joe tries opening restaurant chain. Smokin' Joe's BBQ. His own name, opens 3 branches, Philadelphia, New York, Atlantic City. First year goes well. Second year sales drop. Third year goes into loss. Joe closes restaurants. Total loss, $600,000. Don King, minus $3 million. Casino, minus $1 million real estate, minus $800,000 restaurant, minus $600,000 IRS debt, minus $1.8 million other expenses, house, cars, family, minus $2.8 million. Total, $10 million. All gone. 1985. Joe has one thing left. Boxing knowledge. 30 years experience. Decides, we'll open gym. We'll teach young boxers. This, both income and passion. Finds small building on North Broad Street in Philadelphia. Old warehouse, but cheap. Monthly rent $3,000. Joe's remaining money, $50,000. Spends on renovation, buys equipment, used heavy bags. One ring, mirrors, locker room, shower. Puts up sign, Joe Frazier's Gym. October 1985. Opening day, 200 people come. Curious, fans. Smokin' Joe's Gym? First week, 80 people sign up. Monthly membership, $100. First month income, $8,000. Expenses, $5,000. Rent, electricity, water, equipment maintenance. Profit, $3,000. Joe happy. This business will work. I can do this. 1986. First year great. Member count rises to 150. Monthly income, $15,000. Expenses, $8,000. Profit, $7,000. Joe starts paying some debts, slowly, but at least moving forward. July 1986, Marvis Frazier versus Mike Tyson, Joe's son versus Young Monster. Tyson knocks out Marvis in round 1. 58 seconds. Media criticizes Joe. Joe, bad trainer. Didn't prepare son. Sent him as sacrifice to Tyson. Joe's reputation damaged. Gym members worried. Is Joe teaching us correctly? Some leave. Member count drops from 150 to 120. Income decreases. $12,000. Profit, $4,000. 1987 Ali biographic film released. Contains Manila fight scenes. Scenes where Ali calls Joe gorilla. Film becomes famous. Joe in media again, but badly. Bitter old fighter, stuck in past. More members leave. Joe's energy negative. Can't learn good things here. Member count drops to 80. Income, $8,000. Expenses, $8,000. Break even, no profit. Joe keeping gym afloat from own pocket, but own pocket nearly empty. 1988, IRS freezes Joe's bank accounts. Joe can't transfer money to gym. Equipment break-in. Heavy bag tears. Can't repair. Hangs there. Unusable. Ring corner padding tears. Inner material coming out. Can't repair. Patches with tape. Walls crumbling. No money for paint. Stays that way. Toilet breaks. Faucet not running. Calls plumber. Plumber wants $500. Joe can't pay. Toilet stays closed. Members complaining. No toilet. Broken equipment. Walls crumbling. Why am I paying? They leave. Member count drops to 50, then 30, then 20, then 12. 12 members. Monthly income, $1,200. Expenses, rent, $3,000 electricity, $500, water, $200, total, $3,700. Every month, $2,500 loss. Joe filling from own pocket, but no money left to fill. September 1988. Electricity bill unpaid, electricity cut. Joe calls electric company, please, give me one more week, my money coming. Electric company, Mr. Frazier, you've been saying this for 3 months. Now it's cut. Pay $1,500 and we'll turn it on. Joe can't pay. Electricity stays off. Gym dark, only daylight, coming through window. Then water cut. Same reason. Unpaid bills. Joe thinks about closing door. Maybe I should declare bankruptcy. Maybe I should end this. But can't close door. Because this isn't just Jim, this is Joe's identity. Joe Frazier equals boxer. If Jim goes, who is Joe? Keeps door open. No electricity, no water, no heat, but door open. Maybe someone will come. Maybe someone wants to train. Of 12 members, even 8 not coming anymore. Can't train without electricity. How to work in darkness. 4 members still coming. Out of loyalty, because they love Joe. Not for money, but even they slowly leaving. Sorry, Mr. Frazier, but this place not working anymore. We need to go somewhere else. Joe understands. Of course, no problem. Good luck. November 1988. Member count, 0. Joe alone, 48 years old, in empty gym. Comes every day. Why? Doesn't know. But comes. Opens door at 9 a.m., closes at 6 p.m. What does he do in between? Cleans, mops floors, dusts, organizes equipment. Nobody comes. But Joe still does it, because one day someone might come. And when they come, Jim should be ready. November 1988. Wednesday, afternoon, 2:30 p.m., Joe mopping floors. Started from corner, now at center, mop heavy, water dirty, Joe's back hurting. 48 years old, body not like before, effects of hits taken in Manila still there, kidney pains, headaches, but continues, because this is his job. Door opens. Joe doesn't lift head. Probably bill collector or landlord came for rent. But voice young. Mr. Frazier? Joe lifts head. Young kid. 16 to 17 years old, black, thin, 60 to 65 kilos. Jeans, torn. Sneakers, old. Sweatshirt, gray, stained. Joe puts down mop. Yes? Kid. Are you Joe Frazier? Real Joe Frazier? Joe. I'm real. Who are you? Kid. My name is Tommy. Fictional name. I want to learn boxing. Joe looks around. Empty gym, broken equipment, dark corners, cold air. Joe. Tommy, this place, not very good right now, you see? No electricity, no water, no heat. Tommy. No problem. I can handle cold. Joe. Equipment broken too, heavy bag torn, ring corner worn. Tommy. Doesn't matter. I still want to learn. Joe looks at Tommy. Really looks. Hunger in his eyes. Determination. Not hopelessness. Hope. Joe sees his own 18-year-old self, 1962, South Carolina, working at slaughterhouse, poor, hungry, but wanting to start boxing. If someone had said no to Joe, then who would Joe be now? Nobody. Joe. Okay, Tommy, I'll teach you. Tommy's face lights up. Really? Wow, thank you, Mr. Frazier. How much? Joe. How much what? Tommy. Monthly membership. How much? Joe stops, thinks. Normal membership, $100. But looks at Tommy. Torn pants, old shoes. This kid doesn't have $100. Joe. Nothing. Tommy. What? Joe. I don't want money. Free. Tommy. But why? You're world champion. Why not take money from me? Joe. Because you need money. I don't need money. Lie. Joe needs money badly, but Tommy needs it more. Tommy. Mr. Frazier, I don't know what to say. Thank you. Really thank you. Joe. But I have one condition. Tommy. What? Joe. After every fight, you'll come here, tell me, and one day when you grow up, when you succeed, you'll teach someone else. Free. Just like I'm teaching you. Tommy pauses, then nods. Okay, I promise. Joe. Good, then let's start. Joe gives Tommy old glove. Holes in it, but works. Tommy puts on gloves. Too big. Hands lost inside. Joe. No problem, you'll get used to it. Joe points to heavy bag. Torn, but still hanging. Joe. Now show me jab. Tommy takes stance, but wrong. Hands too low, feet too wide, balance bad. Joe corrects. Hands up. Chin protected, feet shoulder width, weight on front foot. Tommy corrects. Joe. Now throw jab. Left. Tommy throws. Weak, no power, no technique. Joe. Harder. Use shoulder. Turn hip. Tommy tries again. Little better. Joe. Good, continue. 50 times. Tommy starts throwing. Jab, jab, jab. On 10th, throw gets tired. Breath shortens. Joe, don't stop. Continue. Tommy continues. 20, 30, 40, 50th jab. Tommy's arms dying, about to collapse. But Joe, well done. Good job. Tommy smiles. Sweaty, tired, but happy. 1 hour they train. Jab, straight, hook, footwork, defense. Tommy doing everything wrong, but learning, listening, trying. Joe patient, kind. No, not like that, like this. Good, better, well done. Training ends. Tommy takes off gloves, hands red, hurting, but not complaining. Tommy, Mr. Frazier, this was great. Thank you. Joe, you're welcome, Tommy. Come tomorrow, same time. Tommy, I will, definitely will. Tommy walks toward door, then stops, turns. Tommy, Mr. Frazier, can I ask a question? Joe, ask. Tommy, you were world champion, made millions. Now why are you here alone mopping floors? Why working in place like this? Joe stays quiet, thinks, then answers, because Tommy, I didn't become boxer to make money. I became to survive. In 1962 in South Carolina, I was hungry, had no family, no money, had nothing. Boxing gave me life. And now in 1988, I have no money, no house, everything gone. But one thing still here. Boxing knowledge. 30 years experience. And if I can share this knowledge with young people like you, then I'm still rich. Money comes and goes, Tommy. Houses burn and fall. But knowledge, experience, teaching, this never goes. This stays forever. Tommy listening with wet eyes. Tommy, Mr. Frazier, you're most amazing person. Joe smiles. No, Tommy, I'm just man who learned to survive. And now I'll teach you too. Tommy goes outside. Joe stays alone. But this time, different. This time, not alone. Because Tommy will come tomorrow, and day after that. Joe picks up mop, continues mopping floors, but this time smiling. Tommy comes every day, snowing, raining, cold, doesn't matter. Comes. Joe teaches, not just boxing, life. Tommy, boxing not just throwing punches, discipline, respect, believing in yourself. Look, when I beat Ali in 1971, everyone was shocked. But I wasn't shocked, because I believed in myself. You believe in yourself too. Tommy listens, absorbs, changes. First month, Tommy weak, tired, but hard-working. Second month, Tommy getting stronger, muscles showing, techniques improving. Third month, Tommy starting to become good boxer. March 1989, Tommy enters first amateur fight, local tournament, Philadelphia, Joe in corner. Remember, Tommy, stay calm, keep hands up. When he gets tired, you attack. Tommy enters ring. Opponent bigger, heavier, but Tommy not scared. 3 rounds. Tommy wins. Judge's decision, climbs into ring. Hugs Joe. Mr. Frazier, I won. Joe, I knew you'd win. Good job. 1990. Tommy has done 10 fights, 8 wins, 2 losses. After every fight comes to Joe's gym. Tells him, Mr. Frazier, in round 3, I threw left hook, just like you taught. It worked. Joe listens, feels proud, but gym's still failing, still no electricity, still no members, just Tommy. And occasionally, few more kids. Tommy brings friends. Come, Mr. Frazier will teach. Free. Joe teaches all of them, takes no money, because money not important. Early 1991. Tommy, now 18 years old, finished high school, comes to Joe. Mr. Frazier, I'm going to college. 1 boxing scholarship. Joe. Great, Tommy, I'm proud. Tommy. But I want to tell you something. I'll continue boxing in college. And after graduation, one day, I'll open my own gym. And there I'll teach young people, free. Just like you taught me. Joe's eyes fill. Tommy, I don't know what to say. Very happy. Tommy, Mr. Frazier, you saved my life. When I came here in 1988, I was lost, had no direction, no hope. You gave me hope, gave me purpose. Now I know what I want to be. I want to be like you. Joe hugs Tommy. You're already better than me, Tommy, because you learned. I took 40 years to learn. You learned in 2 years. 1992. Joe closes gym. Can't sustain anymore. Can't pay rent. Building owner rents to someone else. Joe collects equipment. Little left. Torn bags. Broken gloves. Old ring. Sells some. $500 total. Gives rest away. To Tommy. Take these. Maybe you'll use them one day. Tommy. Mr. Frazier, Joe. I insist you take them. These are yours. Joe left without gym, but stays boxer, starts working as volunteer coach at local sports center, takes no money, just teaches, to young people, to children, to everyone. Boxing, not just fighting kids, discipline, life. 2,000 Tommy graduates, business degree, and boxing coaching certificate. Opens his own gym in Philadelphia, Tommy's Boxing Academy. On opening day, Joe invited guest of honor. Tommy makes speech. If this place opens today, it's because of one man, Mr. Joe Frazier. He didn't just teach me boxing, he taught me life, and I'll do what he did. Here, I'll teach young people free, because everyone deserves chance, applause, standing ovation. Joe, eyes wet, stands up, applauds Tommy. Then Tommy gives Joe plaque to Mr. Joe Frazier for changing my life and teaching me, 1988 to 1991. Thank you. Joe takes plaque, can't even read, eyes too blurry, but happy because his mission continues. Through Tommy. 2011, Joe on deathbed, liver cancer, 67 years old. Tommy visits, now 39 years old, successful boxing coach, has own gym, 200 students. Joe in hospital, thin, lost hair, eyes tired, but still Joe. Tommy. Mr. Frazier, how are you? Joe. Good. Tommy, how are you? How's gym? Tommy. Great. 200 students, 50 coming free, just like I did. Joe smiles. Good work, Tommy. I'm proud. Tommy. Mr. Frazier, I want to tell you something. Last week, kid came to gym, 16 years old. Poor, no money, just like me in 1988. And I told him, I'll teach you free, but I have one condition. One day, teach someone else, free. That kid now working with me. And I know one day he'll open his own gym, and he'll teach someone else, free. Joe nods. Good, Tommy. Very good. You see? Cycle continues. In 1962, someone gave me chance. In 1988, I gave you chance. Now you giving someone else chance. This will go on forever. Tommy. Yes, Mr. Frazier. Your legacy will go on forever. Joe. No, Tommy. This not my legacy. This our legacy. You, me, that kid, next one. All of us. Tommy with wet eyes. Thank you, Mr. Frazier, for everything. Joe. No, Tommy, thank you. You showed me. You can lose money, lose house, lose everything. But if you give someone life, you lose nothing, because they're living. And while they're living, you're living too. 7 days later, Joe dies. November 28th, 2011. Funeral crowded. 4,000 people, family, friends, old opponents. Muhammad Ali comes, George Foreman comes, Larry Holmes comes, and Tommy comes, sits in front, next to family. When ceremony ends, Tommy approaches grave, leaves paper. Paper says, Mr. Frazier, in 1988, you saved me. Now I'm saving 200 people. They'll save 2,000. Your legacy will live forever. Thank you. Tommy. Today, 2024, Tommy, 52 years old. Gym's still open, now has 3 branches, Philadelphia, Camden, Trenton, 500 students, 150 coming free. One of Tommy's students, Carlos, fictional, opened his own gym. In 2015, he also teaches free. One of Carlos's students, Maria, fictional, opened her own gym in 2020. Chain reaction. Joe Frazier was mopping floors in 1988, had lost $10 million, was bankrupt. But that day, when Tommy came, Joe planted seed. That seed grew, became tree, gave branches, gave fruit. Now, in 2024, hundreds of young people benefiting from Joe's seed. Most don't even know Joe Frazier, but learning from his legacy. Because Tommy taught, Carlos taught, Maria taught, all saying same thing. I teach free, because someone taught me free, and one day you'll teach someone else. Cycle continues. In 1988, Joe Frazier was mopping floors, world champion, but broke. People pitied him. Poor Joe lost everything, but Joe lost nothing, because that day when Tommy came, Joe gave most valuable thing, his knowledge, his experience, his time, and in return asked nothing, just one condition. One day teach someone else. Tommy taught, Carlos taught, Maria taught, hundreds taught. Joe's $10 million gone, but his legacy lasts forever. What about you? What have you lost in your life? Money, job, house, relationship? And how did you use that loss? Joe Frazier turned his loss into opportunity, said, I have no money, but I have knowledge. What do you say? Because losses don't define you. What you do after losses defines you. Joe went bankrupt, but his legacy is rich, because wealth isn't in bank account. It's in people's lives. In 1988, young kid entered gym, said, I have no money. Joe said, doesn't matter. Come, I'll teach. That moment, losing $10 million became meaningless, because that moment, something more valuable than 10 million started. Legacy, and that legacy still living in 2024, will live in 2050, in 202100, because what Joe gave wasn't money, was chance. And chance is like chain, passes from one person to another, forever. Joe Frazier was mopping floors in 1988, but actually building future. What are you building?